Hi everyone, it's been a long while since I last posted a YouTube video, and in this video I would like to share with you guys my thoughts about this ETF, which is the Home Builders ETF called XHB. Okay, so therefore what happens is that the usual disclaimer will apply. So this is by no means a form of financial advice, it's just for me to share with you guys my trade thoughts. Without much further ado, let's begin. I'm currently on the week chart for XHB. Okay, you will be able to see that ever since the COVID low, XHB pushed prices up all the way to this blue zone, and then it came down to this purple zone. Okay, and then thereafter price moved up back to this blue zone again. Okay, therefore the first thought I had when I saw this chart is, could there be a possibility of a double top scenario? Okay, if that were to happen, then I would typically assume that there should be more bearishness to come for XHB. Okay, but nobody knows, and it's so far away from this supposed neckline, which is the purple zone. Okay, so therefore, when we put on our trading hat, we can only trade as per price movement as it goes along. Okay, so we won't be able to so-called preempt or predict very much. But this is the first thought I have, whether there could be a possibility of a double top. Now, even if a double top scenario were to, or rather a pattern could be formed, nobody knows whether it will be a successful pattern that will cause price to fall further. Okay, because sometimes when a pattern is too obvious, it may also not come true. Okay, so if it were to not come true, somewhere around this purple zone, which is the supposed neckline, or somewhere over here, the dotted line, which houses the previous high, I think could be a potential strong support for long-term investors to consider to long into XHB. Okay, but for now, we can only trade according to what price action could be telling us over the next few weeks. Let's now zoom in a little bit more to look at the technical aspects. Okay, so if I were to enlarge the chart, okay, where the blue zone is, it houses all the previous highs, okay, over here. So when you look at what price action seems to be telling us right now is, this blue zone seems to hold a very, very strong resistance. Price has not been able to break above this blue zone for many, many weeks already. Okay, so do remember that this is a week chart. Okay, and it seems to be forming this double top. Okay, with the yellow zone being the neckline. Okay, like I mentioned, when a pattern is in the midst of forming, nobody knows whether it will be successful and cause price to move down. Okay, so there must be certain things that we need to see in order to firm up the conclusion that yes, there's going to be more bearishness to come, or could there be a possibility that this yellow zone could be supported. Okay, so there are two base scenarios for us to consider. So number one, if it's going to be supported somewhere at this supposed neckline, when you look back in history, there must be something that tells us or give us this confidence that it could be supported. So if you were to look left, it houses all the previous highs. Okay, so if prices are indeed going to come back to test this level and in the end continue to move up, that is in line with this trend, then it should not come as a surprise to all of us. Okay, so whatever that is merely been happening here could be just a simple retracement. Okay, back to a level where people are looking to buy. Okay, however, if the next scenario were to happen, that means we continue to see prices moving down such that it breaks the neckline. Then the next assumption we need to hold is that any retracement back into this yellow zone will now, so this support will now be seen as a resistance. Okay, for a lot of traders to go short. Okay, so if this happens, then we will begin to suspect that there could be a change of trend. Okay, so change of trend can only be true until it reaches the next support zone. So that is when I have drawn in this green zone over here, which houses the previous high. Again, by looking at near-term resistances, right, can only give us so much level of confidence. If in history we can look back further and see if there could be stronger levels, then you will see that it also houses the previous supports. Okay, so if you extrapolate all these data to the right, so this could be another potential support that could hold if prices were to fall further. Okay, now of course, then over at this zone, it should also not be surprising to you that prices may bounce. Okay, so what happens after the green zone is anybody's guess. Whether it will continue to move down or it might change direction and move up. Okay, so as traders, we can only plan accordingly as the days and the weeks come. We can't guesstimate too much, but using strong levels of support and resistance that we can see in the past, it will serve as a guiding light for us. Okay, so that we will not choose to do silly things like to short at the support, okay, or to long at resistances. Okay, so this is the power of finding support and resistances using historical values. Now that we have gotten these zones all plotted out and distinguished in various colors, so all that remains to see is for us to patiently wait and see what is the following price action that will come in the subsequent days and weeks, and then we will execute our plan accordingly. Okay, so let's watch out and see what happens to XHB. And I hope that this video has been useful to you guys who are watching it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.